We all joined the military because we wanted to give back to a country that's given so much to us. The ability to directly see your work impact the community around you was a phenomenal experience, by far the highlight of my career so far.
America has one army, but we have many soldiers. From the infantrymen and women who guard our nation, to the photographers that document our history, from the mechanics who keep the army moving, to the aviators who patrol the skies. There are over 150 paths to service. Which path will you take?
All right, next one is air defense. So what these guys like to do, what their main job is basically there are main defense for anything aerial or missiles or aircraft that's not ours. So if you're a person that likes to work with a lot of electronics and things like that, this is a good job that you can get into and utilize in the civilian world. All right, next one is aviation. So this one's not it's really not too combat, but they do get in there as well. But their main jobs are maintaining aircrafts and working on avionic mechanics. We also have air traffic control, attack helicopter repairs. One of my favorite ones is 15 Tango. It's a Black Hawk repairer. So if you want to work for companies like Boeing or things like that, these are some of the good jobs to get into. And some of the perks that that Black Hawk mechanics do have is they get to be the gunners for the Black Hawks, which I think is pretty cool. All right, moving on to the combat support. So we have right here is 31 Bravo, military police officer. So that's basically just like any police officer that you see out here in the civilian world, but obviously instead of their jurisdiction being at a larger state or a city, theirs is mainly on base. So they do the exact same things that any ordinary military police do or any other officers do. They do patrols. They respond to any issues that people may have on base, whether it's like domestic violence or like just your regular noise complaints or something like that. So just basically the normal stuff. So if you want to do something like that in the civilian world, and you're having a hard time, like trying to get into the police academy or things like that, like this is a great way for you to do it, is to join in as a 31 Bravo in the military. We also have 31 Delta. It's a criminal investigation special agent. So it's basically they deal with higher and more a little more higher echelons of cases. And then we have 31 Echo, interment and resettlement specialist. So, not all soldiers are great. So these are the guys who are basically prison watchers, guards, and things like that. And if you've ever wanted to be a working dog handler, 31 Kilo is the way to go as well. So my advice for that one is, enlist in as a 31 Bravo. And then there's a little bit of an application process to go to. But, as long as you meet those requirements, there's no doubt in my mind that the Army is going to train you to be a 31 Kilo military working dog handler. All right. And one of our most common jobs, but not so popular for people to join, is 89 Delta, basically EOD. So these are the guys that, it's basically like bomb squad. They deactivate bombs and or like IEDs or anything in that nature. All right, so as far as moving on to some of the schools that we have in the Army, we have Rangers, we have Airborne School, we have Air Assault, we have Pathfinder Sniper, and Psychological Operations. So know that these are just schools. They're not actually, a job. Well, excluding special forces, but everyone can do this in the Army, regardless of what your job is. You don't actually have to be in a combat MOS to attend these schools, as long as you are fit and you meet the GT standards or ST standards for some of these schools. Then there's no doubt in my mind that your unit will send you, as long as you're top candidate, what I mean? But schools like Ranger School, Special Forces, like these schools, they require a little bit more physical requirements. So like if you're like an unfit soldier, you know, you're probably not going to get into that school. Like, so you'd have to prove yourself worthy so that, you know, your unit will actually send you. Um, but you could also get some of these qualifications or jobs as well, or these schools as well in your contract as well. It's not guaranteed, but sometimes we do have these options for applicants who do qualify for them, and we are able to get that in your contract as well. All right. Airborne school, it's actually one of the easier schools that I've heard of. I've never actually been to airborne school, but a lot of people have gone there, and for the most part, everyone that I've talked to, they said it's a pretty easy school as long as you're not scared of heights. Or maybe if you are scared of heights and you just want to get over that fear, that's one way to try to do that. All right. Air assault school, you can't get that in your contract, you know, initially coming in. So that's something that you'll have to try to get into while you're actually in service. But I heard that's actually a really good school as well. They do a lot of rappelling, just like that guy right there you see on the bottom. They also get taught how to rappel out of a helicopter, and they get taught how to move cargo using, you know, an aircraft, you know. So it's called the attention to detail school. So you really need to be paying attention to every little detail because it matters. Because if you don't want to be hooking up a vehicle onto an aircraft, you know, the wrong way, or having the wrong knots or something like that, and you know, next thing you know, you might not be able to get transported the right way. You know, if you're interested in sniper school, the Army actually has one of the best sniper schools out here in the military. That's another good one too. And we have also psychological operations. So I don't really know much about that one, but some of our recruiters here do. So I would try to get with them and see what their input is on that one. All right. So I know that was pretty brief and generalized. So I highly encourage you guys to, you know, try to contact one of our local recruiters, depending on where your location is. So if you're in Wasilla, you know, we are here at the busiest intersection on Parks Highway. If you're kind of in North Anchorage, we have a station over there in the Taconda Commons, just right across from Target. And then we have one in South Anchorage, just by that Costco. And we have one somewhere in Soldotna and somewhere in Fairbanks. You know, they're pretty small cities, so I'd rather, if I were you, I would just Google them so you could find your nearest local U.S. Army recruiting station. All right.
America has one army, but we have many soldiers.